So there's a lot of geopolitical tension right now. How do you see that affecting investors?
Look, I think this last time I was here, we were talking about some geopolitical risks that were escalating. I think in the immediate escalation is always where volatility happens. We're seeing that now. There's uncertainty in oil prices. I think the biggest risk now is an escalation in oil prices, because then we get into a reinflationary environment. Everyone's been expecting the Fed to sit back on its heels, maybe start cutting rates. You see oil top $100 a barrel, you get housing prices continuing to go up, and services inflation. I dare I say it, now it's in the realm of possibility the Fed would have to actually raise rates another time. So again, completely contrarian standpoint, but I've taken a contrarian standpoint with the Fed for the last year and a half. I think they're going to hold rates higher for longer than anyone thinks. With this geopolitical tensions could actually make it a scenario where rising prices would force them to actually raise rates one more time.
Yeah, it seems like it might be going that way.
Yeah, no one wishes that, right. But again, this is the troubling thing, right? We all think global conflicts will, erupt and resolve quickly, but they just don't. I mean, look at Ukraine. We thought that would be a month or two, and now we're a year plus. Look at what's going on in Israel, right? We thought that would be reconciled quickly. It's not. It's getting worse. So I think those are always the wall of worry that the markets always have to climb, the economy. I think in the US's case, thankfully, it seems that the economy's been pretty resilient. If you look at the latest data coming out, retail sales for the last 2 months have been up. So even though a consumer's been stretched, there's still spending power there, wage growth. So those, as a backdrop, provide some stability in some uncertain geopolitical times.
Yeah, and to add to all of that, we have an election coming up here.
Yeah. Slightly contested one.
Yeah, just a little bit. And so, the Fed wants to remain independent, obviously, but no matter what their decision is, it's going to be perceived as political, right?
Well, absolutely. You have Biden now calling for Powell to give him a rate cut, and Trump just blasting him for doing that. But if you rewind, Trump was doing the same thing when he was in office. And, I think every president is going to look to have the Fed be on their side and supportive of their policies. The Fed says it's apolitical, but how many people in life are actually apolitical? So I think it's that tricky navigation for Powell to say, hey, I'm going to be as apolitical as possible and try and stay out of the election. I think the Fed actually waits to November or December for any rate cuts because of that alone, right? So they're going to just cadence rate cuts are coming, they're coming, but really wait until after the election. So the Fed meeting in November, I think, is a few days after the presidential election, and then they have one more in December. So that's my prediction. There's no way to bet on that anyway, so it's okay. If I'm wrong, that means things have maybe gone worse. So I don't want to think about that either. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks a lot, Lou.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching. Check out more at QZ.com.